Hey there. So today I'm going to be looking at this year's Free Comic Book Day releases. I know it's been a minute since Free Comic Book Day happened this year, but I had to work on Free Comic Book Day at my day job, so I wasn't able to get to a comic shop like I like to on that day. So instead of going back and hunting down the maybe 10 to 15 books I really wanted, I decided to, I found a seller online, a comic shop that was just selling all the books together. So I thought, oh, I'll just do that. Then I don't have to worry about piecing everything together, buying from here and there, paying more on shipping and stuff like that. So I just went ahead and ordered everything that came out for Free Comic Book Day. I've done this before. It was kind of fun before. You know, you end up with a lot of books. You end up with like pretty much everything you wanted for Free Comic Book Day, of course. But then you end up with other things that, like, I got books before that I necessarily wouldn't have picked up. I did find some good stuff that, like, I normally wouldn't have picked up had I just gone to Free Comic Book Day like normal. You do end up with some books that suck. It happens. But, you know, there's always, like, those gems that you necessarily wouldn't have picked up otherwise. So I thought this time I would just go through the books that came out this year. And we'll start with this one here. So this is the last comic on Earth that we're starting with. This is first. So this looks like all ages sort of thing. Probably something kid friendly. And again, you know, if you have any questions about any of your Free Comic Book Day books, there usually are ratings on them. Down here we have all ages on the book. So, you know, this is probably good for kids. Something, you know, try to get some new readers in, which again is kind of the whole point of Free Comic Book Day. Next up, from Paper Cuts, we have the Smurfs 65th anniversary. I mean, you know, everybody knows Smurfs. You kind of know what you're getting here. Looks like just some short stories here with the Smurfs and Gargamel. Yeah, Paper Cuts, they do a lot of kind of kid-friendly books. They've done, I'm trying to think. There was one book they were doing I was getting, and now I can't remember what it was. Next up, we have Sweet Valley Twins, the graphic novel. So it looks like this is a preview of an upcoming graphic novel. Again, something that looks kid-friendly, probably something for girls, you know, kind of geared towards that. Again, a book I probably wouldn't have picked up otherwise. Then we have The Babysitter's Little Sister. Looks like this is based on a novel. Again, sort of the same thing as the last one. Looks like a pretty kid-friendly kind of book. And that's by Scholastic. Then we have Punch Up from Oni. This looks more like a sort of, not manga, but manga inspired definitely here. And looks like we have another excerpt here from a book called Lights that's coming out in September. So another graphic novel there. Again, not necessarily one I might have picked up, but hopefully something good. Then from 2000 AD, we have The Best Comic Ever. Bold claim there. Again, another all ages. So, you know, 2000 AD, which brought us Judge Dredd and other features over the years. But again, this looks pretty kid-friendly at first glance. Again, I haven't read too many of these yet, hardly any of them. Then we have Mexikid, a graphic memoir. So it looks like this is another sort of preview of something coming out. And again, that's what a lot of these are. You have previews of stuff coming out. Oh, and I guess if you're wondering too, we have the little blank area here that you'll see on a lot of these. And that's so the stores can kind of stamp it with their store logo or their information to the store. Because again, the other thing about Free Comic Book Day is don't just go on Free Comic Book Day to the comic shop. If you see something you like, come back, pick something up later. You know, don't be that guy that just comes on Free Comic Book Day. Then from Kaboom, we have Met Cadets. Now, this is a Boom book that's been around for a minute, but I'm pretty sure they have a Netflix show coming up that actually might be on now that I'm thinking about it. Again, it's not something I keep up with, but Greg Pak, I'm trying to think, he wrote World War Hulk. He's written some other good stuff. I've never read Met Cadets, but, you know, I'll read this, and maybe it's something I'll be into. Then we have the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics. I like getting these. I like picking up the Overstreet books. This is just sort of like a, you know, they're usually focused around comic book collecting. And again, something good for new readers, new collectors. You know, there was a plethora of this stuff back when I started collecting. A lot of, you know, like how to get started, or like little starter sets for comics. And back when I started, there was no internet. There weren't a lot of resources. So I would have really liked something like this. And again, you have a lot of that stuff now, but you know, this kind of thing never hurts, especially for like a new reader. Then we have Dog Man and the League of Misfits by Dave Pilkey, and it looks like we have Captain Underpants on here too. So it looks like this is like a comic of Dog Man, and you know, they've got a list back here of all the other Dave Pilkey stuff. So you got Dog Man and Captain Underpants. Again, pretty successful series. Again, another Scholastic book. Then from Dynamite, we've got Mad Balls versus Garbage Pail Kids. Now, this is something that I saw in the catalog, like the regular series was coming out, and I was like, I'll probably pass on that just because I get so many books right now. But, you know, I'll definitely read this. You know, give me one of these I can just read and kind of preview. And maybe this will be what clinches it for me. Maybe I will pick them up now. Then we have Investigators. This is called All Tied Up, T-I-D-E, sneak peek. Now, I've read some Investigator stuff before. If you're fans of Art Baltazar and Franco that do like Tiny Titans and Oh Yeah Comics and those kind of things, Patrick the Wolf Boy, you'll probably like this too. It seems very much sort of in that vein. Then we have Kodo Kotora. I'm not really sure what this is. This is Arcana. I don't really follow anything they do. But again, looks like more of a cartoony sort of kids sort of thing. Real kind of animated kind of style. Looks really nice. I'll read this. You know, maybe it'll be a good read. Then from Viz, we have Animal Crossing. And so if you're a fan of the game, or if you know somebody that is, this, you know, definitely more of a manga kind of style book. You read it right to left. And there's like a little Kirby thing in the back here too. So if you've got some video gamers that want something else to read. Then we have Shaman King Flowers. Again, more of a manga kind of thing, which isn't, you know, usually what I'm into. But again, I'll read this, see how it is. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's my new favorite book. Never know. Then also from Viz, we have Chojin X. Again, not familiar with this. Looks, you know, they have this rated teen. So this is, you know, for a little older. Again, another manga book, though. Might be something good. Then, for more old school fans, we've got the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers Freak Comic Book Day 2023. So yeah, if you're familiar with the old school Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, here's a comic of that. And they had a cartoon that they did that I think with everything going on with COVID and the pandemic and everything, I think it ended up on a streamer. And I can't remember exactly. I know I saw it the other day. I think maybe, was it on Tubi? Might be wrong about that, but check that out. I know that did get released. I'm just not sure where it ended up. Then from Vault, we have West of Sundown, written by Tim Seeley and Aaron Campbell. Again, I don't read too much Vault stuff, but again, a lot of people like Tim Seeley. I've read some good stuff from him, so I'll definitely check that out. Again, more of like a horror kind of thing, it looks like there. Now, this is one I'm really looking forward to. This is I Am Stan. This is a preview of the upcoming graphic novel by Tom Scioli. So this is his biography of Stan Lee. This is a companion book to this right here that he did. His Jack Kirby book called Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics. This was a great graphic novel. This is probably the best graphic novel that came out that year for this. And so, yeah, this is a must-read. So I definitely want to check this I Am Stan preview out. Again, I'm thinking this will probably be just as good as his Jack Kirby book. Sort of a companion piece to that. And, you know, Stan Lee does appear in the Jack Kirby book, but you only got really kind of like a hint of it. And so this will be interesting to see, you know, how he handles sort of the story and legacy of Stan Lee. So yeah, let's clear some of these out of the way and get some more here. Don't want everything falling over, making a mess. So here from Comic House, we have Crime Buster. Again, I don't really know too much about this. I know Crime Buster is like an older sort of Golden Age character, and I think, yeah, so this is the company, too, that has Captain Canuck. And I've gotten some of their Free Comic Book Day stuff before. Again, I've just never really checked that out too much. But yeah, so it looks like we have a little preview here of the Crime Buster comic. Then we have Tom Holland's Fright Night from American Mythology. I'm not really sure what Tom Holland has to do with Fright Night, but here's a little preview book kind of coming out. And again, this is teen, so this is, again, for a little older audience, probably not something for the kids. Then from Aftershock, we have Seismic Stories. So it looks like we've got a couple different stories in here. Looks like some maybe like more supernatural kind of stuff. Again, that stuff's kind of hit or miss with me, but I'll check it out. I have heard of Animosity before, but again, never picked that up either, so we'll check this out. So RuneScape, I'm pretty sure this is the first RuneScape comic. If you're a fan of the games, you'll probably want to check this out. I've never played them. I know they've been around for a while. But yeah, so I don't know how closely this sticks to the games. Again, we got this nice map here in the centerfold. Got some, kind of sketchbook stuff here at the end. Again, might be pretty good. Then we have Animal Castle Volume 2 from Ablaze. I don't know if I've read anything from Ablaze, actually. So this looks more of like a story centered on the animals. Looks like sort of like medieval times, maybe. Again, I'll check it out, see how it is. Then from Tokyo Pop, we have Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, the Battle for Pumpkin King. Again, I'm a big fan of Tim Burton stuff. I haven't picked up too many of the Nightmare Before Christmas comics, though, before. So I'll check this out, see how it is. Again, a lot of it just seems to kind of fall short of, Tim Burton's vision, but we'll see how it is. Then from Archie, we have Archie Horror Presents The Cursed Library. Got a nice Robert Hack cover there. So yeah, so we've got, a few different stories in this one. Looks like one of those by Cullen Bunn. Just sort of more, but again, Archie horror has been pretty on point the last few years, kind of starting with Afterlife with Archie, and there was the Sabrina title, and then there was like Jughead the Hunger, and some other different ones that they've done. I've liked most of those. I haven't kept up with that stuff lately, but we'll check this out, see how it is. Then we have, it looks like it's from Opus, the Frazetta-verse. So it looks like they're kind of taking some of Frazetta's properties and starting like a new comic line with that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see a rating on this one, but this is one that definitely won't be for the kids. Then from Valiant, we have Shadow Man Dark Legacy. So it looks like there's also a X-O Manowar story in here. I don't really keep up with Valiant too much. I have a friend that's all about it, but I just never got into it too much. Other than like the Bart Sears X-O Manowar run, I really liked, but everything else was kind of hit or miss. I've got a few of the issues of Bloodshot that Norm Brayfogle did around that time too. This is the Sacrificers, and this is from Image, and this is Rick Remender. So I think this is a preview of a new book coming out. I mean, it looks nice. Again, people like to speculate on Image books. So, and every now and then there's a Free Comic Book Day book that kind of does go up in value. It's the first appearance of somebody or, a new book or something. So this might be something to watch out for. Same thing with this one here from Jeff Lemire, Fish Flies. So, man, I have not read too much Jeff Lemire. I know a lot of people like him. It's always just sort of like one more book for me to pick up. So I'll definitely read this, see how it is. I'm sure it's good. Too many people are into him for him to be a bad writer. Then we have from Udon, we have Street Fighter 6. Again, I'm not a big Street Fighter guy. I actually haven't played it for years. But again, there's always like kind of good art in these Udon books when I see them. I don't know how much story you get out of a fighting game. That's kind of the thing with me. And next up, we've got the Umbrella Academy. Again, I haven't read too much of the Umbrella Academy. I watched the first couple seasons of the show on Netflix, I think. But yeah, so we have this written by Gabriel Bon Gerard Way. And there's also a Witcher backup in here too. Again, I haven't read, I haven't read too much of The Witcher, or played the games, or I wasn't really into the show or anything. But if you're into that, you probably want to pick this up. Then from Boom, we have Ranger Academy. So this is a Power Rangers book. Again, I'm kind of like just a little too old for Power Rangers, so I never got into them. My younger brother did, but yeah, I just never got into them. So I don't, I know there's a few different Power Rangers books coming out right now from Boom, but again, if you're into that or you know someone who is, this is probably a good book for them. Then from IDW, we have Star Trek Day of Blood Prelude. I really like this cover. I've been reading Star Trek and Star Trek Defiant from IDW. I love those books. This is sort of leading up to a crossover they've got coming up. It's coming up. It's going on right now. But it's been a really good story. This is one of the Free Comic Book Day books I have read so far. It's a really good setup to that story, and again, I'm really looking forward to this. If you're a fan of like Next Generation or Deep Space Nine, actually, if you're a fan of any of the older shows, the sort of conceit with the Star Trek book is that they've made a crew kind of taken up with characters from the different shows over the years, sort of all in one. And Defiant is like the spin-off book of that's been really good. Then from DC, we have this Clark and Lex, and then Fan Club Batman Squad. So these are a couple of the sort of younger reader graphic novels they've got coming out later. So sort of previews of that. I'm pretty sure I've already ordered the Fan Club Batman Squad one from Jim Benton, so I'll be getting that for sure. Then similarly, we have Girl Taking Over. So this is another preview of a graphic novel for sort of young readers. This is a Lois Lane story that'll be coming out. So again, something for younger readers. I think this one's, so this one's teen. I think the other one is probably like all ages, yeah. Then another one from IDW is we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Free Comic Book Day special, and so it looks like this is based more on the Saturday Morning Adventures book they've been doing, which is sort of a takeoff of the old 80s, 90s cartoon. And then after that, here we have something from the newer cartoon, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then from Titan, we've got Conan the Barbarian. So I think this is probably, not so much like your old Marvel books back in the day. I think this is probably a little more of a hardcore kind of Conan book, probably closer to the original novels. Then from Dynamite, we've got Red Sonja. I haven't really checked out any of the Red Sonja stuff that Dynamite's been doing. Again, they do a lot of licensed stuff. And I think, so there's another... so there's an older story in here too. So it looks like they reprint an older one by Roy Thomas and Dick Giordano here later in the book. Yeah, I think that's what this here is. So if you're a Red Sonja fan. Then again from Dark Horse, we've got Star Wars The High Republic Adventures. And so if you've been keeping up with the High Republic stuff, there's this. And then we've got a Avatar The Last Airbender backup story in here. Then from Disney Junior, we've got Spidey and His Amazing Friends. And so this is definitely more of a younger kid-oriented book. I think they might have done one last year too with this, because I think this is a cartoon that's on, for younger kids. And so, it looks like we've got some pretty safe early reader kind of stuff here. And, we've got Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Gwen here. So, the different Spider-Men. Then another one from Marvel is Marvel Voices. So yeah, it looks like we've got, I would assume these are, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure these are previews of the bigger Marvel Voices specials that they have out. They've been doing. Then we have Uncanny Avengers. Now, I really like the first Uncanny Avengers book from back in the day. I don't know too much about this one yet. Again, before Uncanny Avengers was sort of a team made up of Avengers and X-Men characters. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this one yet. I liked the old one back in the day, so I am looking forward to this. I kind of haven't looked into anything yet. I don't want to spoil anything for me here. Then I think the last one I got here from Marvel is the Spider-Man Venom. And I think they did a Spider-Man Venom book last year too, also. But again, we got this really nice cover from Patrick Gleason here, who I really like. I've met him at a con before, super nice guy. I really like his artwork, the Batman stuff he did, and Green Lantern Corps stuff he did for DC. And he's been doing Spider-Man now, and got some cool stuff going on in here, it looks like. Then from DC, we have the Dawn of DC Night Terrors book. So this is sort of previewing the Night Terrors event they have coming up. So let's see, so fun thing with this is we have some Chris Bachalo art here. Really good artist, really like him. And then we have Howard Porter art afterwards. Again, so two artists I really like. Love seeing Howard Porter do anything anymore, really. And then here we've got this big checklist of these books. So it looks like this is going to be an event similar to Convergence and Future State, where they just kind of put out night terror themed books for a couple months. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get. I'll definitely get the Batman ones because I get Batman, but this might be an opportunity to take a couple months off from some books too. We'll see. We got some sketchbook preview stuff kind of here in the back. Got some cool, I think these are variant covers coming out. So some cool art here. Dustin Nguyen, some different guys. Yeah, so we'll see. And then I also have this here, which is the variant cover for that. So this is the foil variant for the Night Terror special. Again, this is not a free book, but this is one I had to order, and this came a little later than the others that I got. So again, same book, same stuff, but just this nice shiny foil cover. Yeah, so I think that's everything that I got for Free Comic Book Day. Again, would have been fun to go to a store. Always go to a comic shop on Free Comic Book Day. It's always fun. There's usually people dressed up and stores having sales and fun stuff like that. I just couldn't make it out this year. But yeah, definitely go find your local comic shop. Or one nearby. Me and my friends used to travel quite a bit to go to a really cool store, and some other ones we would hit up. But yeah, did you go to a store for Free Comic Book Day? Did you pick up some cool books? I assume everybody else has read these already but me at this point. But did you find something you liked? Maybe something to, if you want to start collecting, maybe go back to the comic shop. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you got. Did you have any cool adventures on Free Comic Book Day this year? Let me know. And thanks for watching.